Welcome back, folks. Chase Valenzuela here for another review, this time of the Roto TNT Infused. This is the hybrid version of the original TNT, which was a big solid. It reminded me a lot of the Idol. It was that sort of slower response, symmetrical solid ball. And this is the cleaner, more responsive counterpart to that. Right off the bat, the TNT Infused is much cleaner and more responsive than the original TNT. The E-Trax Plus hybrid cover stock is 2 parts pearl, 1 part solid in this iteration, and you can certainly see that it's pearl heavy because it does clear the fronts really well, where for me the TNT was pretty early, pretty mid-laney, and then not a lot at all down lane. This one really keeps going and climbs up the hill. It's continuous, but it's not sharp, so it does provide a fair bit of control for being something that still stores a good bit of energy as well. Sometimes we get storm balls that have a much stronger or weaker cover stock than what the core would typically pair with, and in this case I think these two complement each other pretty well. That E-Trax Plus hybrid is fairly strong, as is the core, so overall this ball should be able to handle a lot of oil and be fairly predictable. The TNT for me was one of those balls that got bumped out of the rotation a little bit by a little bit different versions of it, like the Phaze 2. The Phaze 2 for me is a touch cleaner and a touch more continuous than the TNT, and I just find that shape to be a little bit more usable across the board. So for me, the TNT hasn't gotten a lot of action in competition play. This cleaner, smoother version I think is going to be a lot more usable if the conditions are really blended and I need something that clears the front a little better than a Phaze 2 or a cleaner solid, but I still need something that really controls the break point. This is going to be the ball that I go to. Overall, this ball, in short, really feels like a bigger version of something like a Phaze 5, where it's got a really big, strong, symmetrical core that doesn't change direction super duper fast, but has a little bit cleaner, whippier cover. The TNT Infused for me is quite a bit stronger overall, meaning that it can handle a little bit more volume of oil and still pick up. Getting into our first comparison here with the Storm Summit. This is another high-performance hybrid. I think that the Summit is actually heavy on the solid side, so we really get a good look at the differences with those hybrid formulas and what one that leans a little more pearl looks like compared to one that leans a little more solid. The Summit has a very similar low RG, medium-high differential weight block, so it is similarly stable and smooth and not necessarily super quick to change direction. Overall, the Summit does keep going really well through the pins for me for being a slower response ball on paper. Honestly, these two are pretty similar. The TNT Infused is a few feet further down the lane, and it might be a little more off the spot overall. For me, the Summit is a little bit better when I can keep it in the oil and get it to store energy, or when I can bump the friction fairly early and get it to see it and sort of hook stop or freeze at the pocket off of that friction. Where the Infused for me is going to be a little more off the spot if I need to play again on those blended conditions, or if I have a breakpoint down lane where I have a little bit softer shot where I've got some room to miss both ways. The TNT Infused is going to give me a lot bigger window. Next we have the Phaze 5. Again, I found these shapes to be similar, although the Infused is a significant step up in total strength, and meaning that it's going to be a little bit better across a larger volume of oil or a puddle in the middle, where the Phaze 5 is a little bit allergic to that high volume of oil and is better when there's a little more friction across the pattern and across the middle part of the lane. The TNT Infused releases on November 3rd. Come see me at Balls of Fame Pro Shops or go to your local Storm VIP Pro Shop to get yours.